Welcome back to our channel where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today we bring you some news. King Charles finally transferred the legendary sovereign's sword upon Catherine. It was an unprecedented moment when King Charles anointed Princess Catherine, so establishing a new royal destiny, a crown, a sword, and a queen in waiting. King Charles III, at a moment weighted with history and deep personal meaning, put the fabled sovereign's sword into the hands of Catherine, the Princess of Wales. This action caused reverberations to be felt throughout the old halls of Buckingham Palace, as well as to be felt all across the world. This was not only a ceremonial exchange, rather it was a forceful and purposeful act of anointing, a clear gesture of confidence and a declaration that would define the destiny of the British monarchy. Despite the fact that the private ceremony, which took place inside the luxurious throne room, was not intended to be seen by the general public, its repercussions are unavoidably public. The ceremony was a modest coronation of confidence, a handing of a symbolic torch from a king who was struggling with his own mortality to the lady whom he has grown to see as an important pillar of the House of Windsor. The gesture, which was replete with the weight of 1,000 years of history, provided an answer to a question that has been lingering in the thoughts of many people. What is Catherine's final position in the contemporary monarchy? A firm response was given by the king. It is in the middle. Through a single powerful act, the disparate threads of recent royal history are brought together. These threads include the personal health struggles of both the king and the Princess Catherine's arduous journey from commoner to the heart of the institution, and a monarch's strategic vision for a streamlined, resilient, and relevant crown. We invite you to join us as we dig into the history of the sword, the tests that shaped the princess, and the beginning of a new age for the monarchy, which is now in part in the skilled hands of Catherine. The legacy of the Sword of Sovereigns forged in steel and wrought with saga. To fully grasp the significance of this event, it is necessary to first have an understanding of the myth surrounding the sovereign's sword. The gilded steel and priceless diamonds that make up this item are not only a weapon or a relic, rather it is a record of the history of the United Kingdom. There is much more to the sword than just a sharp piece of metal. It is the physical incarnation of power, authority, and responsibility, as well as the very soul of the monarchy. Throughout the great and sometimes stormy history of the British royal family, its tale is closely intertwined with the narrative. During the reign of King Edward VII, a king who was renowned for his diplomatic skills and great vision for a modern Britain, the sword was commissioned with the intention of serving as a symbol of a new century. It was intended for the blade to symbolize the holy responsibility that the king had as the unshakable protector of the realm, and it was crafted from the best Sheffield steel that was available at that time period. The design itself is a symbolism-filled masterwork in its own right. The elaborate hilt is a beautiful piece of art with exquisite goldwork portraying the national insignia of the unified country. These emblems include the English rose, the Scottish thistle, and the Irish shamrock, all of which are linked to indicate a unified country. The gorgeous sapphire, which has a deep blue color, is a gem that has been connected for a long time with knowledge, divine favor, and majesty. It is set at the center of the crossguard. With the passage of the decades, the sword evolved into a mute witness to the course of history. It was handed down from one ruler to the next, with each succeeding monarch adding their own chapter to the heritage of the empire. According to royal history, which is shared by historians and palace insiders, it was ceremonially carried by King Henry V before he led his warriors to an unexpected triumph at the Battle of Agincourt. This victory was a sign of bravery over great odds. It is stated that Henry VII, the first Tudor ruler who put a stop to the Wars of the Roses and transformed the future of the kingdom, acquired it as a symbol of his power that he had earned through tremendous effort. The sword was present during both somber coronations and happy jubilees, serving as a continuous and shining reminder of the monarch's promise to defend and serve the people. It was a symbol of national defiance during times of war. During times of peace, it was safely stored inside the Tower of London, among the other crown jewels, where it was a sleeping giant of royal authority. Its voyage has not been devoid of danger at any point. There have been uprisings, changes in dynastic rule, and the passage of time, yet the sword has triumphed. As Oliver Cromwell's republic began to take root, royalists, fearing the destruction of all monarchical emblems, snatched the sword away from the royalists. This event is considered to be one of the most dramatic chapters in the history of the book. During the 11 years when England was without a ruler known as the interregnum, it was concealed and guarded by people who committed themselves to their loyalty. Following the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, with the accession of King Charles II, the sovereign's sword reappeared, its luster unabated, and prepared to regain its position at the center of royal life. It is now the responsibility of a new guardian to take care of this item, which has been subjected to the authority of monarchs and has seen the rise and fall of empires. More than just entrusting Catherine with a magnificent item, King Charles did more than that when he gave it to her. She was given the responsibility of narrating its story, which included the collected tales of triumph, duty, and sacrifice. This sword is no longer only a relic from the past, rather it is a bridge to the future, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is the new person who is in charge of keeping it. In the book The Unlikely Princess, Catherine describes her journey to the center of the monarchy. The journey that Catherine took to get at this life-changing event was everything from predetermined. She did not come from royal lineage, but she was born in Reading to a family that was loving and middle class. Her formative years were filled with activities like as school athletics, peaceful family vacations, and the kind of grounded normality that exists in a world far from palace walls. In spite of this, people who knew her from a young age saw that she had a wonderful composure, a calm confidence, and an instinctive elegance that distinguished her from one another. It was an unremarkable beginning to a trip that would profoundly change the trajectory of her life, and in turn, the fate of the monarchy itself. Her encounter with Prince William took place at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. Their wedding, which took place in 2011, was a real-life fairy tale that was seen by billions of people all over the world. As Catherine came down the aisle of Westminster Abbey, she seemed to be majestic and tranquil. She was wearing a lovely gown, and she was carrying the weight of a royal title. She was a young lady who was about to enter a life of unprecedented public scrutiny. After that day, every decision, every gesture, and every wardrobe was scrutinized by a media that was ravenous for information and a public that was inquisitive about it. The parallels to her late mother-in-law, Princess Diana, were made very immediately and continued without stopping. The explosive charm and widespread admiration of the people's princess provoked some people to worry whether or not this introverted and exquisite lady could ever equal that reputation. On the other hand, Catherine never intended to have a similar appearance to Diana. Instead, she started to carve out her own path with a calm self-assurance and resolve. She gravitated toward issues that struck a chord with her on a personal level, and she focused her efforts with a conscientious sense of commitment and real enthusiasm. Through her efforts to reduce the stigma associated with talks about emotional well-being, she emerged as a strong advocate for mental health awareness advocacy. She devoted her time and attention to the development of young children, making the compelling case that the first 5 years of a child's existence are the most crucial era in their development. Additionally, she became a committed patron of the arts, recognizing the importance of culture and creativity to the spirit of the country when she celebrated them. A reassuring touch on the shoulder of a mourning parent, a shared joke with a schoolchild, or a warm, unguarded grin during a public walkabout were all examples of the modest, genuine actions that she used to demonstrate her authority. Her strength did not come from great overarching speeches. Over the course of many years of devoted service, these instances, which were repeated gradually but inevitably, transformed the public's perspective. By this point, the whole world had realized that Catherine was not only acting out a part, rather, she was living it with complete authenticity. She was not an outsider who had married into the monarchy. Rather, she was a natural and vital component of the fabric of the monarchy. Then, in the year 2024, her resilience was put to the test in the most significant and public manner that could possibly be imagined. Trial by fire, a battle that were fought together, and a royal family that was during a crisis. An extended and unanticipated shadow was thrown on the House of Windsor during the first few months of the year 2024. An announcement was made by Kensington Palace in January stating that the Princess of Wales had undergone an abdominal operation that had been scheduled. However, further testing revealed the surprising fact that cancer had been present despite the fact that the treatment was ultimately successful. The family went through a time of tremendous uncertainty and terror after the diagnosis, which was first kept a secret. At the same time, Buckingham Palace disclosed that King Charles III was also getting treatment for a specific kind of cancer. The double diagnosis of the monarch and the future queen was a stunning blow, a humanizing crisis that reminded the world that behind the titles and traditions is a father and a daughter-in-law facing one of life's most terrifying challenges. The double diagnosis was passed on to the monarch and the future queen. Catherine's primary concern was for her 3 young children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. She was immediately focused on them. She talked with amazing honesty about the hardship of conveying her sickness to children in a video message that was published in March 2024. The message was incredibly emotional and released because it was released. I am well and getting stronger every day by focusing on the things that will help me heal. In my mind, body, and spirits, she stated, her voice firm but filled with the passion of a mother. I have said to them that I am well and getting stronger every day. She expressed the dread that any parent would feel not only for her own life, but also for the well-being of her children and the task of leading them through such a challenging period. She was speaking about the fear that every parent would experience. In her explanation, she said that she and William had made an effort to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that is appropriate for them and to reassure them that I am going to be okay. The therapy that came after it was really harsh. Preventative chemotherapy was administered to the princess beginning in late February and continuing until the end of the month. The adverse effects were really incapacitating. After some time had passed, she recalled instances in which even the most basic of chores seemed insurmountable, a brain fog that made it impossible to communicate. All through this trauma that lasted for 9 months, her family served as her anchor. Her spouse, Prince William, had a presence that was not just consistent, but also unyielding. Later on, he would concede that the year 2024 had been the toughest year of his life, and he would express an amazing amount of admiration in the resilience of both his wife and his father on that occasion. In spite of the fact that he respected Catherine's desire for solitude, James Middleton, Catherine's brother, remained a cornerstone of strength and offered her with quiet and unwavering support. When Catherine happily declared that she had finished her chemotherapy treatment on September 9, 2024, a light of optimism pierced through the clouds that had been surrounding her treatment. It was a significant moment marking the conclusion of a challenging period and the beginning of a gradual and methodical recuperation. By January 2025, she made the announcement that the world had been waiting for. She was in remission from her cancer. She made this announcement when she was in the Royal Marsden Hospital to express her gratitude to the professionals who had provided her with treatment. She did, however, carefully balance the celebration with a dose of reality, highlighting the fact that rehabilitation is a process that takes a long time and involves mental, physical, and spiritual healing. The manner in which she returned to public life was soft and thoughtful. Both the appearances at Trooping the Color in June 2024 and Wimbledon in July 2024 were not only royal responsibilities, rather they were beautiful declarations of endurance. Every grin and every wave was a demonstration of the inner fortitude that she had. She did not become broken as a result of this era of severe personal strain. Rather, it created her. She gained a new degree of appreciation not only from the general public, but also from the king himself as a result of the fact that it displayed a depth of character and a quiet level of courage. During the storm, he had seen her navigating it with a level of elegance and grace that might be described as queenly. My dear Catherine, a connection that is crafted through obligation and love. From a relationship based on formal obligation to one that is characterized by profound, genuine love and mutual respect, the connection between King Charles and Princess Catherine has developed throughout time. There is little question that their mutual experience with illness strengthened this connection, resulting in a one-of-a-kind understanding between a king and his heir's wife, who were both negotiating the simultaneous strains of public duty and private health problems. However, their relationship started to become more solidified a long time before they both received the same illness. Charles, who has been an advocate for the environment and an arts supporter for his whole life, discovered a kindred soul in Catherine. Her genuine enthusiasm for the issues she championed, her thorough commitment to her job, and her intuitive capacity to connect with individuals from a wide range of backgrounds were all things that he saw in her. It was the type of legacy work that he has always advocated for, and he respected her devotion to early childhood development because he saw it as a long-term fundamental effort that will benefit the country for generations to come. In private, it is common knowledge that the king affectionately refers to her as "my dear Catherine," a phrase of endearment that conveys a great deal of information about the position that she has in his heart. Not only does he consider her to be his son's wife, but he also considers her to be a reliable counselor, an important strategic partner, and a lady who has both substance and strength. This strong conviction in her was the driving force for the decision to bestow the sovereign's sword onto her, which was a choice that had never been made before. The ceremony itself was characterized as being quite emotional by the aides, despite the fact that it was private. The throne room of Buckingham Palace, which is a room steeped in regal magnificence, was the location where the event took place. The room was adorned with gilded mirrors and polished marble flooring which were illuminated by the mild winter sunshine that was permitted to enter through the big windows that were bordered by the exquisite crimson curtains. Only Prince William, Queen Camilla, and a select group of trusted royal courtiers were present at the tiny private meeting, which resulted in an ambiance that was both majestic and profoundly personal. Catherine appeared in front of King Charles, who was clothed in his navy uniform and decked with medals for his significant service. The blade of the sovereign's sword, which had been polished, and the hilt, which had been adorned with sapphire, caught the light. When Catherine turned to face him, she was poised and gorgeous in a deep blue gown that reflected the color of the diamond that was in the center of the sword. Her eyes reflected the intense emotion that she was experiencing at that very moment, yet her poise was unwavering. The king's voice had the weight of a ruler while yet resonating with the affection of a father figure whenever he spoke. During his speech, he discussed the importance of duty service and the unwavering dedication that the crown must have to its people. That the sword was not a symbol of conquering, but rather of defense. That it was not a sign of power, but rather of duty, was made abundantly apparent by him. After then, the momentous occasion arrived. The sword was extended to Catherine by King Charles with great care and attention to detail. There was a shimmering effect on the blade as it moved from his hands to hers. It was with a strong but soft grasp that she received it, and her eyes met his in a wordless interchange of understanding from her perspective. A rush of emotion was obvious on her face for a brief moment as her fingers wrapped around the hilt. This wave of emotion was manifestation of her complete awareness of the faith that was being put in her. After she had dropped the blade, there was a respectful hush that pervaded the room. While he was standing next to Queen Camilla, Prince William looked at his wife with a look that conveyed an overwhelming sense of appreciation and affection. There was a trace of tears in his eyes, which reflected the extent of the significance that this moment had for him. In a manner that was both subtle and encouraging, Queen Camilla gave a little nod, indicating that she was silently acknowledging the fact that Catherine had not only earned her position, but had also become the heart of the family. Charles's final vote of confidence was this gesture, which was a secret that was revealed to the public and pronounced Catherine ready to assist in leadership. Beginning of a new era. The modernization of the monarchy. The announcement of the event, once it became public, sparked a raging inferno of gratitude all across the world. For many days, hashtags such as Sovereign Sword and Catherine the Great were trending on social media platforms. While fans and royal watchers uploaded montages of her charitable efforts, artists produced gorgeous digital renditions of the princess carrying the sword with the sapphire-hilted blade. There was an outpouring of messages of support from all around the Commonwealth, with people from Canada, Australia, and New Zealand applauding her grace, courage, and compassionate leadership. The story was featured prominently on the front pages of British newspapers, with headlines declaring it Catherine's crowning moment, and the sword and the princess, a new royal legend. News organizations from around the world analyzed the significance of the event, pointing out that it was a masterful blend of ancient tradition and forward-thinking modernity. Everyone was aware of the fact that the sovereign sword, which had traditionally been a symbol of masculine power in the realm of martial arts, was now being given to a female individual. At the time, it was seen as a forceful statement made by King Charles about the development of the monarchy, which is an institution in which leadership is determined by character rather than gender. Immediately, royal observers drew comparisons to the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in 1953, when the young queen clutched the orb and scepter, therefore proclaiming her power. The moment that Catherine had with the sword is now being seen in a similar manner, which has helped to solidify her position as a leader in her own right, standing alongside her husband, who would eventually serve as king. The actions taken by King Charles were not only a matter of familial concern, rather they were a calculated effort to strengthen the monarchy in preparation for the 21st century. He is aware that the capacity of the crown to connect with the people on a human level is essential to the institution's continued existence in this era of diminishing respect and growing criticism. When it comes to this project, Catherine is his most valuable asset. Due to the fact that she has been so open and honest about her struggles with her health, she has become more approachable than ever before. She is admired by the general public because she is able to successfully juggle the enormous responsibilities of parenthood and life with the problems that she faces on a daily basis. The reaction from the general population was not limited to the sphere of digital media. People gathered in large numbers in front of Buckingham Palace in the hopes of catching a sight of the princess. The gates of Kensington Palace were adorned with flowers, and there were words of solidarity put there. A profound connection had already been established with millions of people as a result of her fight against illness. The symbolism of the sword converted that relationship into one that was filled with inspiration and hope. It was the beginning of a new era, one that would be accompanied by a future queen who exemplifies both duty and compassion. Where does the Princess of Wales stand in terms of her future? What does the future hold for her? Now that the sovereign sword is in her possession, the issue that everyone is wondering about is what is the next step for Catherine. Although the sword has been returned to its safe haven in the Tower of London, the importance of the occasion continues to be felt even after it has been restored. Because of this, her prestige has been permanently boosted, and it has also established a new path for her royal career. At the same time as Prince William is continuing to make preparations for his future succession to the throne, Catherine's position will definitely become more significant. Experts on the royal family anticipate that she may assume a more prominent role on the international scene, going on solo tours and representing the British monarchy in important diplomatic engagements. A formidable ambassador, she is able to establish international ties with an elegance that is both authoritative and friendly. Her unusual blend of royal composure and disarming kindness makes her a powerful ambassador. Her charitable activity, which has already had a significant effect, is expected to become much more extensive. Because she has been given a symbol of national leadership, she may feel emboldened to initiate new programs that are ambitious in nature. For example, she may choose to concentrate on the welfare of children throughout the world or establish worldwide coalitions to promote women in leadership positions. Catherine, on the other hand, has always been directed by a strong internal compass, the desire for balance. This has been the case throughout this path of expanding her responsibilities. She continues to be quite protective of her family life, and she is resolute in her goal to provide George, Charlotte, and Louis with a childhood that is as normal as their circumstances will give them permission to be. The next generation of royals is being taught by her that although while service and compassion are of the utmost importance, the basis upon which everything else is constructed is the individual's well-being and the relationships that they have with their family. The events that transpired in 2024 have only served to hone this viewpoint. Catherine handles her responsibilities with a revitalized sense of purpose and an appreciation for each and every moment, despite the fact that she has confronted her own mortality. It is anticipated that she would follow through with her carefully planned comeback to public life, giving priority to activities that are in line with her primary interests, which include health, children, and mental well-being. The choice that King Charles made was a brilliant step in the process of succession planning. In addition to ensuring the monarchy's continued existence, he has also reshaped the image of the institution. Through the act of anointing Catherine, he has effectively communicated a transition away from an institution that is rigid and patriarchal, and toward one that places a higher priority on empathy, resilience, and the power of human connection. This new vision is embodied in Catherine, who is the living expression of it. It is not even close to being ended. In many respects, her narrative is just getting started. She is creating a new model for what it means to be a queen in the contemporary world, one who is powerful to the point of being soft, traditional to the point of being inventive, and regal to the point of being approachable. In spite of the fact that the trip that lies ahead will be challenging, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has often shown that she is more than capable of completing the job at hand. She is not only leaving behind a history of unapproachable, aloof monarchy, rather she is leaving behind a heritage of warmth, strength, and unflinching elegance. It is for this reason that the future of the monarchy is brighter and more secure. Would you want to share your opinion on this significant historical event? Does Princess Catherine want to reimagine the concept of royal duty for the young people? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for some further in-depth research on the royal family. Be careful to click on the video that is now shown on your screen before you go.